Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Chung. I am a teen student and an aspiring entrepreneur. And I know this is a very formal introduction. Now that's because I've been growing up learning about slates. And by that I mean through acting. Now that's something that I used to do, and I hope to just keep on continuing to share a little bit more about myself and a little bit more about Palate of Possibilities, which is what I'll be talking about in this video. So this is my first YouTube video. Let me know what you think about it at the end, and I'd just love to see your feedback or hear it in any ways. So I have a couple of notes here just to share what I wanted to talk about. But first off, to introduce myself, I am a more art-oriented person. I play piano, I used to play clarinet. I also love staying active, so that means playing sports like basketball and tennis, also exercising and doing CrossFit. Fun fact, I know that a lot of my friends know this about me, but my favorite part of CrossFit is climbing ropes. And that is not a whole representation of CrossFit at all, but it's my favorite part when I used to exercise with some friends and my parents. So that is something that I love to do. I also, fun fact, I guess another one is I have a pet turtle, and I've been wearing glasses ever since I can remember. Okay, so moving on to Palate of Possibilities. That is a podcast / business that I am starting and that I hope will continue to grow for as long as I can let it grow, to its fullest potential. So Palate of Possibilities, or POP, which is what I'll be calling it, because POP, P-O-P, is just so much easier to say, and I love everything about pop, like definitions. There's so many ways you can see pop as, and this is technically a 2-part video. So if you want to see the longer introduction, then please go ahead, because that one is a little more detail about the journey that started pop, but I'll explain a little shorter here. So what is pop? Well, right now it's a podcast that spreads curiosity, and all the topics and themes are something that I'm just interested in or I'm curious about, and I wanted to share that with other people. And I guess I could say I'm a very vocal and social person, so I love to have guests on or maybe just share my thoughts on my own. But I created this podcast as a place where maybe I could share something that you guys might be wondering about, or maybe there's questions and topics that you don't know or you've never thought about before, you've never considered, but then when you hear it, you're like, wow, this is actually more interesting than I thought. Or you could take these topics and questions that delve deep into more subtopics and more sub-questions as conversation starters, something you can think about and talk about with your friends and family. And that can also lead to many fun and different answers from a bunch of different people. So originally, this podcast could be listened to by anyone, but I'm not gonna lie, this is a teen-hosted podcast, so the views that you get from me are, of course, more geared from or towards teens, but anyone can still listen in on it and just gain insight about maybe how some of us think, So I eventually want to move on from guests that are around my age to guests of all different ages and just make it more of a versatile podcast. So as of now, other than curiosity, this podcast is just driven by exploring new things and also just having fun. And a big part of pop is to stay natural, to stay you, to stay real and authentic, and so on. All the words that describe this. And as you can see, I'm not wearing anything formal or very, very business-like, I guess you could say. I am wearing something very casual, something that is just me. I love to dress up in, it's not exactly sporty clothes, but casual I would definitely say. And this is just what I want to bring to the table, a podcast where anyone, any ages, we could just be ourselves, dress how we want, talk how we want. This is all something that you don't have to be so serious in, you know? This podcast is to let go of our ideas, our thoughts, our feelings, and there's no reason to hold back on stories that maybe other people or situations that other people might be facing as well. And I just, with this podcast, wanted to share that even if you have a certain situation, you're not alone, or maybe other people are facing something similar. And it's always nice to know that there's real stories out there that are not just faked or not scripted and so on, if you get the idea that I'm going with. So, moving on, why did I start Pop? Now, that's a little bit in the introduction video, but I started Pop as a way to create a community where maybe people could resonate with what's going on. Again, to make them feel like they're not alone and to know that there's a bunch of stories and people out there who have so much to share. And another part of Pop was to spread different hidden or under-acknowledged topics that I felt maybe could just have their chance to shine. So something that could be related to bullying, I would talk more deeply into the topic than just what people see. Like, physical bullying is not all it is, right? There's more to that. There's social, there's cyber, and there's just so much more to a ton of other topics that maybe we don't always think about. And that is kind of what I want to bring with Pop. Something that we go more into the details of, something past, beyond the surface. So that's a little bit about Pop. That's a little bit about the introduction, about why I wanted to start it, a place where people can just feel comfortable. Teens and anyone really can just know what's going on at the moment, and maybe if you're of a different age, you get a little bit of entertainment or something new that isn't always surrounding you. Now, I'm a little bit going off on a tangent here, but that is basically all I have to say about Pop. And thank you for watching this video if you watched it all the way. I'm so excited to continue posting. By the way, this YouTube video or this YouTube channel will have the podcast episodes posted along with here and anything related to Pop. By the way, here's a reminder I forgot to say. Other than the first episode, not the introduction, but the one on first impressions, if you're interested in just hearing some two regular teens talk about what first impressions mean to them, check that one out. So all of these podcast episodes, besides that one, are unedited. So they're just natural conversations, right? This podcast is conversations, not exactly an interview, but there are questions, just something to lead us somewhere while we get on with each episode. But that's what I have. There's another introduction episode. I will share the links through this YouTube channel. Check this out. I think it's like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if you are ready for more. And see you soon. Thank you.